Hi everyone, this is Amanda, or also known as Fixing This RN. So today is my first video. I haven't decided if I want to do Wednesday or Thursday yet for this, or maybe it'll be a little bit of both. Maybe if I don't make a plan, I'll be a little bit more consistent with it. Although maybe I do need a plan. Anyways, I originally started this YouTube series to keep track of my weight loss. I had just started Zepbound, and I was at a really pivotal point in my life where I really needed to do something. So I went ahead and started a YouTube channel. As I was trying to figure out what I wanted to fix about myself, I laid out a plan about how I wanted to lose weight, what I wanted to do, like what my ultimate goals were for losing weight. And then I also realized that I wanted to fix my financial status. That's kind of why I started this video. So once I started looking at my finances, I started researching, and that's how I found the cash stuffing, sinking funds, and the envelope system that I have become engulfed with. And it's given me so much encouragement because we have a lot of debt to pay off, so we're going to be here for a really long time. And I know that I say that because we were a long time. And I know I say that, but we're really going to be in this process for a really long time. So with that being said, I was doing my Zepbound. I was trying to keep the Zepbound information up to date, but I just wasn't doing a very good job. And not only that, but like I had Zepbound, I was losing weight. My lowest weight was 237. That will be important in a minute. But my lowest weight I got down to was 237. And then I kind of just stopped caring. I stopped trying. I stopped making sure that I get extra steps in and things like that. So Zepbound is only as good as you make it. So if you don't put in the effort, then it's only going to do subpar. What I will say about Zepbound though is that it is a very helpful tool, and it helped my food noise significantly. Like instead of having this voice in my head constantly telling me that I should eat more, or that it might be my last meal, or just all the crazy things that would happen in my head with food, my unhealthy attachment to food, it was gone. And for the first time in a long time, I would eat food and I wouldn't have in my head one more bite. Just one more bite. It's okay, just one more bite. Or you can go back for seconds. So all of that noise was gone, and it helped me really focus on, was I really hungry? And most of the time it was no. Most of the time I was not hungry as much as I thought I used to be. So, long term, I never planned on staying on Zepbound. It was just meant to get me started. So, long term goal wasn't to stay on it. The second thing is that we are going through a financial transition where we don't have as much money. My Zepbound is paid through my FSA account, so it doesn't affect like our monthly income. However, my thought process was, well, if I don't spend the money on my FSA account, if something big happens, then we can have the FSA account for anything like doctor's visits and things that come out that we were paying out of pocket for. So, because that's ultimately what it's for. So I made a decision that I was going to start weaning myself down. But then I went to call my doctors, and my doctor, who is the one who prescribes it, said that she was not going to prescribe it anymore at her office, that I could go somewhere else. But it was just, I think it was too big of a task because there are so many people going to her on top of what she also does. So it kind of made, like, that kind of was like the final nail in the coffin. Like it was not meant to be. So my choice was kind of decided for me, and I'm okay with it. I will say, since I've stopped Zepbound, the noise is back, so I'm going to have to learn how to deal with it like a big girl. But it is really hard, and I have gained weight back. So I will go over all of that in just a second, and hopefully in the next few videos I can get more into why I am where I am and things like that. But I just kind of want to give you an idea of what my plans are. And I do have a couple more plans, but I don't have everything here for this video. So there will be a little bit more explanation as we go on. But I've decided that I want to do this just in case it helps encourage other people, but more importantly, it's to keep myself in check, because as soon as I stopped videoing, I stopped holding myself accountable. And right now I need that encouragement. So I am going to, on Thursdays or Wednesdays, go over what my weight is for the week, how I did with my goals for the week for getting in shape, because that's part of the fixing RN part, is fixing myself. And the other thing is that I'm going to check in with my budget, because again, just like my weight, I was starting budgeting and showing what I was going to budget, and I was doing really good with that. But I think I can still do a little bit better. And especially since we have less money to work with, I really need to hold myself accountable. So instead of throwing like a $10 bill here or $2 here, where it doesn't seem like that much at the time, I want to track everything that I do so I can get a better idea of where stuff is going. So that is what this video is going to be, and that's what I hope to do with once a week in every video. So that is my thought process. So let's get started. Okay, let's start with the weight. So I just mentioned that my weight was 237. Here. When the last time I was on Zepbound. And the couple of weeks that I've been off of Zepbound, I have gained weight. I'm up to 246, so almost 10 pounds. I'm hoping a little bit is water weight, because I was traveling the last week, and also I've been eating like crap the last week. So I'm hoping that some of this will just be water weight, but the truth is that I need to start somewhere. So instead of adding it to the tracker that I had before, since I was on Zepbound, what I've done is I created a new one, and I wrote post Zepbound. So this is everything that's happened after Zepbound. So 246.8 is what I'm starting at. I put yesterday's date, so 6/4/25, and I put my starting weight. My goal weight is like around 165. To be completely honest, I'm not focused on that weight right now. I'm trying to do it in small increments, but that is ultimately where I'd like to be, give or take. So that is my goal. My measurement shouldn't change too much, so I'll go over that when I see a little bit of progress. And then what I'm gonna do, I had this where I was tracking my Zepbound as well, but I was doing a little bit extra because of the shots. So one page went over like my daily diet, and then the next thing was how I was feeling on Zepbound. So since I'm not on Zepbound anymore, I'm not going to do that. What I'm going to do is I'm going to make a plan the night before. Now, I got this idea from No BS Weight Loss and Corrine Crabtree. I really like it, and I've talked about this on our previous video, but I really hope to go back to the support group and everything like that. But it is kind of outside of my expense, which is why I'm not currently on it. But part of what she tells you is that you need to make a plan and you need to hold yourself accountable. When you get really good at the plan, which at one point I was, you can make a plan and you can stick to it. But when you're first starting off, if you need to have a either or solution, then you can do that too. The point is to track what you're doing and to hold yourself accountable. So if it's not on the list, then you're not supposed to do it. So with that being said, what I did for the last 2 days is I've been putting what I think I'm going to have, and then you'll see a lot of mine have either ors, because I wasn't exactly sure what was going to happen. Hopefully I can start meal prepping and it'll be a little bit better. But I have goals. I have my breakfast, lunch, and dinner. I ended up having a snack that was not on my plan, so that's why I put not planned. And then I also put my food, or not my food, my mood. And I made notes. So the fries came because I was very hungry around 2 p.m. So I couldn't ignore it. Like, I mean, I could, but I chose to listen to the voices, and I just felt really, really hungry. So because of that, the fries came along. So I'm trying to keep track of that too, to see if I can see a pattern with things like that. It also asks about the wake up time and the bedtime. Now, I did mention Corinne Crabtree. This isn't her tracker, but it follows a lot of what she does. So another thing that she harps on is the fact that you have to you have to get enough sleep, and I definitely don't get enough sleep. So I woke up at 5:50. I went to sleep around 10 p.m. that day. This was on Wednesday. I did have okay-ish water. I could still do better. Water intake's really important too. But I did have veggies. So I don't eat a lot of fruit, but I do eat a lot of veggies. And I did not have a workout. So for my first day, I held myself accountable and I tracked. I did go off of my plan. So that is something that I need to work on, but I am proud of myself for starting. So that is the first day. Today was the second day. I planned for a workout, 6,000 steps and self-care. I did not do the 6,000 steps, and the self-care is just honestly taking care of myself. I'm embarrassed to say it, but I just really don't take the time to brush my hair sometimes or to give myself just proper care. So that is going to be my goal every day, is to do one thing for myself that takes care of me. I woke up at 4:10 this morning, so even earlier. And then I planned for scrambled cheese eggs. I did have scrambled cheese eggs, but I also added bacon, so that wasn't planned. I told myself I was either going to have a salad with ranch, or I was going to have a protein and veggie. I ended up having chicken and carrots, so that was perfect. And then it was either frozen dinner. This one I really didn't know what I was going to do. Frozen dinner, soup, or whatever someone else cooks. So Adam ended up making spaghetti and meat sauce with some broccoli and carrots, so that's what I ended up having. My water intake was not good today. I still have time to make up for it, but again, I wasn't very proud of it, and I did have extra veggies today. I also did do a workout video for 15 minutes. It seems so little, but for me, considering I don't work out, I'm just trying to do something. I'm trying to get myself moving, and the ultimate goal is to keep adding to it. It also tracks your mood. So I've just been tired, but yeah, my baseline is tired. So that's something I'm also hoping to change. I don't really have any notes to mention. I would like to start taking vitamins, but I don't have any. I need to go refill them. So for right now, those are empty. And so what I thought I'd do, just to kind of put it together, is I would make tomorrow's plan while I was filming. So again, I'm going to do the one workout for the goals. We're going to try for the 6,000 steps again. And self-care. So these are going to be pretty basic for right now, just until I feel more comfortable with this, because I want them to be realistic goals where I'm not setting things that are unachievable for me. So for breakfast, I'm going to try to skip breakfast tomorrow. I'm not always hungry, but the last couple of days I have been, and I don't want to deny myself food either. So I will do the scrambled cheese eggs again and try to stick to it. I feel like each day, I've only been doing it, this will be my third day tomorrow, but I feel like each day I get a little bit better with it. Lunch, I really want a salad, but the salad options at work have not been the greatest. So we will try again with the salad. Or I'm going to try to bring a frozen dinner. I forgot it. Well, I didn't forget it because I knew I wasn't going to bring it, but that really does help me have an alternative. So I'm going to try to bring a frozen meal tomorrow. And then for dinner, yeah, I don't know. Let's say a protein and a veggie again. That will be my goal. Or whatever someone else cooks. But hopefully they cook a protein and a veggie. Sorry if this is sloppy. Snacks, again, I don't eat snacks. I don't usually eat breakfast, and I don't usually eat snacks. But what I think I am going to do is put a protein or popcorn, so I can have either or. So that is my plan for tomorrow. Hopefully that'll all fit on the screen. And so this is what I'm going to do. Notice that it has a calorie option, and I'm choosing not to write calories. I try really hard not to focus on calories, just because if I'm focused more on what I'm eating and if I'm hungry, so I try really hard not to focus on calories, just because if I can focus on listening to my body and listening to whether or not I'm actually hungry, that's going to be better for me long term. And then that will also allow me to eat what I want, but just be more conscious of it. So that is my goal. If it doesn't work, then I'm gonna have to try to count the calories. But again, I want to think of this as more of a lifestyle change than a diet, so that is why I'm trying to do it this way. So that's my plan for my weight loss, and I will update you next week on how I did. There is part of me that thought about maybe doing like an Instagram channel too, to like show what I did each day and if I was effective and if I wasn't effective, but I don't know yet. I have a hard enough time posting this video, so because I don't like talking about myself. So let me be consistent with this before I add on anything else. Okay, so this is from Snow Garden 307. I'm part of her membership, which means that I get her monthly trackers. I'm still trying to figure out what I like and what I don't like. This one, this daily spending is kind of new to me, so I'm deciding if I like putting my regular bills on it or if I'm just focused on like the miscellaneous charges. For right now, you'll see both. So Sunday was the first. We were on the road. So we went to a Japanese restaurant, we went to Starbucks, and we got gas. So those were all my charges from Sunday. The next one was Monday, Tuesday, and yesterday. Monday, I purchased something from Etsy. I got my tea, my favorite tea, but then I also had to buy it for everyone else because, you know, you have to be nice. So that equaled out to $29, which was fantastic. Sarcasm there. I paid a bill, and then also I paid for lunch. So we went to Chipotle. So definitely a big spending day. Next one was Tuesday. I made a Walmart purchase. I bought mulch and some clothes for Carson because he's definitely outgrowing them. So that was $102.62. Bills, so $300. That went to student loans for Adam's student loans. I did withdraw $688 so that I could have that available for my challenges and things like that, because that's what I had left over. And then we had an unexpected charge. Adam's car had to be serviced, and it was a simple little part that was probably about $200-ish. But because they had to take it all apart, it was $614.70. And we actually went to a couple of different places, and that was the lowest price. So there's that. And then Wednesday, I paid our water bill, which was $162. Our water bill is always kind of high, but not as high as it was been. This one kind of creeped up, but that's kind of in our range. So we'll see if it creeps up again next month because we might have to get the plumber back out. And then this was all on credit cards. So what I basically did is I paid off my credit card. And this is all from volleyball. So in the 4 days that we were traveling, we spent a total of $742.15 for volleyball. And that includes hotel fees, restaurants, and any miscellaneous stuff that we had to get as well. Oh, also the ticket price to get in was $42 for one person. $42. Blew my mind. And then we get to today, Thursday. I only had 2 bills come out. There was no spending today. Our HOA fee came out. That's $173.49. And then the car is Adam's car loan, and that is $586.95. So that is my spending so far this month. Then I decided to use the sinking funds. This is basically just listing where my sinking funds are starting for the month. And they're all in the folder that I showed you earlier this week. So right now I have a total of $14.50 in all of the sinking funds together. So we will see how we can do by the end of the month. Next is my debt snowball. I still haven't figured out how I want to do this. I make payments throughout the month, depending on how much I was able to save the month before. And then I start the next one. So it gives you a bunch of places to document. Sorry, medical jargon. Well, no, I guess document makes sense. Anyways, it gives you a bunch of places to write, like when you paid it off and things like that. And I think it also gives you an opportunity to write your other debt, but I don't want to do it like that. So I'm still trying to play with it. I'd like the debt snowball, quote unquote, to be focused on one specific debt. And for that, that is why I'm doing it. So the minimum monthly payment is $600. I would like at minimum to put another $200 towards it for a total of $800. If I'm able to pick up extra shifts or if we get any extra money, then obviously that will be more, but that is my goal every month. The bank loan is what we're focused on right now. Then it will go into Adam's car loan, and then the first student loan, which is the lowest one. There's 3 student loans all together. The bank loan is going to take a while though, and so is the car loan. So bank loan first. Month ahead tracker. So these are all the month aheads. I do want to try to put money towards month ahead. They are at 0 right now. I have not put any money towards them. I'm hoping to change that by the end of the week. But at the end of the month, we will calculate how much we were able to save. Now, month ahead is going to be touch and go for me because it really just depends on if I have the money to do it. I have a feeling that the next couple of months I'll be able to do it, just because of an extra income that we had. I had an extra paycheck, and Adam had an extra, Adam had a stipend for school. So we did have a little bit of extra income, so that is part of where this is going to go into. And here's what we're working with until we get paid again next week. So we have very low money coming in. We have a college check that Adam gets paid for $340, and then cash is what I'm putting in. That is part of that stipend and extra money so that I can do my sinking funds and my debt binder and things like that. So the goal is to spend about $35 on medication and subscriptions, and so that would leave us with $544. Fun, I'd like to try to put away $68 for that. That will leave us with $476. Savings challenges, I'm trying to put $130 in for that. And then the debt binder gets 2. They get $200 and then also $134. So that should be a total of $334 towards debt, with leftover $39, and then the $39 is going into the month ahead. So that is where I'm starting off with all of this, my finances, and I look forward to keeping up with that, my health. And then I have one more thing. It's kind of just on a post-it note right now. I might just put it up on my wall. But the last thing is my goals and how I'd like to distribute the bonus checks. So the bonus checks that we get, that could be the college checks. I don't count those into our budget because I never know if he's going to get one or not, depending on if he has classes. So I don't really count them, quote unquote. If I get to work overtime, things like that. So if we get bonus money that is outside of our normal paycheck, then this is what I'd like to do. Actually, let me not make it confusing. So I'd like to save 30% for savings challenges. I'd like to do 20% for fun, and then 50% towards debt. So that is my plan right now. Depending on our needs, that could change the percentage, but I think that's how I'd like to divide the extra money that we get, if we get it. As far as weight loss goals, by December 2026, I'd like to be down 70 pounds. That is my ultimate goal. 15-minute walking video for now. This is more of a short-term goal every day. Once I feel like it's time for me to upgrade it, I will make a new goal. My other goal is meal plan the night before, 6,000 steps, and more water. So that is what I'm focused on right now for my weight loss goals. The other thing that I'd like to do long term that it will probably take a while for me to incorporate is I have Hey K's weight loss challenge box where I'd like to start putting money in it to save towards clothes and things that I might need once I start losing weight. I haven't really decided how I'm going to put money towards it or where the money is going to come from, so that's why I'm not bringing it out just yet. And then the other super long term is once we get a little bit more stable with everything, I'd really like to create like some type of small self-care challenge for myself so that I can really start doing things for myself. I literally just cut my hair last week and it was forced by the hand of my mom. She made me go get a haircut. She paid for it actually. Before that, it had been over 2 years since I had done anything to my hair. So it was super long and you couldn't even run your hair through it without it getting knotted because there were so many split ends. So I have a really, really hard time loving myself. I've definitely been through a lot. So putting any type of attention on myself, even if it's just me giving myself attention, is very hard for me to do. I do not accept positive feedback very well. I kind of just like brush it off, and so there's a lot of things that I kind of have to look into, and I really need to go down this road of discovery because I deserve to be loved and I deserve to love myself, and I'm not perfect by any means, but I also don't deserve to feel like this. So this is the whole reason why Fixing This RN got started, is to fix myself and to put us in a better position as a family. So thankfully for all of the people that I've met as far as saving challenges, you guys have encouraged me to start saving in a really fun way. So that keeps me encouraged, keeps me motivated, but you've also encouraged me to step out of my box and be more consistent with this too. So I hope that I do not let you down. My goal is to not, but it is really scary. So more to be continued, but that is where I'm starting off. Thank you if you made it this far. If you have any feedback or any suggestions, I would love to hear them. But otherwise, I will see you on the next video. Bye.